Hello again, comic book lovers. I'm Wild Bill, your host, the unknown comic for comic book geezers.
And I'm Pete, co-host extraordinaire.
We're doing part 3 of Thor.
You guys seem to love Thor. We love him too. So, we did the first part, which kind of the pre-200 issue. We did part 2, which, again, more pre-200.
It was all Pete, you notice?
I've gotten a lot of Thors lately. What can I tell you?
He did. So, I never really got into Thor until 2 years ago when I started collecting. I had about maybe 9 or 10.
We're both really late to the Thor canon, big time.
Well, like I said before in the beginning, my first 3 comics were Thor, Iron Man 100, and Hulk 213, and it was Thor 261.
Right, as a young kid, hard to get into
this. It was like reading Shakespeare. Yeah. It was thou art boring.
But now that we're a little bit older,
you can understand it.
And really, I can really appreciate all the sci-fi stories and all the kind of mythology.
And now I'm okay with the way he talks. Yeah. You know, it makes sense. It makes him. He's the god of thunder. You know, he does have a mythical aura to him, and that language is what sets him apart from the others.
Plus, so anyway, the villains are great, the artwork is great, the plots are great. So we're going to post 200. Here we go.
201.
That is, look at that. Look at that. I guess who's fighting there, folks. That is Pluto.
Awesome.
We've talked about him before.
And again, the 20-cent issues without a barcode.
Yeah, who needs that damn barcode, right?
Yep. Issue 201, which I just recently picked up. One of my older Thors for a long time, issue 202. Just love the cover.
That is great. Well, I gotta say, I'm not sure I'm crazy about the white background there because this part is awesome. Yeah, I wonder if they could have tried something else there.
Maybe yellow, huh?
Yeah, maybe. This here.
This is a great cover. 203.
Look at that.
And that's the thing about Thor. His covers are just so eye-catching, you know?
Whether it's Kirby or Buscema or, even some of the Gil Kane covers.
And Buscema did a long run here, the post-200s. Issue 205.
Look at that. Mephisto.
Yeah.
And then you got all of Thor's buddies there. You got the Sif, you got Hogan and Balder, and what's the other guy's name? I forget.
The guy with the hat?
That's Hogan right there. What is his name? I'm forgetting his name. That's
Volstaff?
No, Volstaff is the big fat guy.
Yeah.
I can't think of the other guy's name. Damn it.
Oh, this dude.
Yeah, I forget his name.
No,
he's the sword guy. Well, it'll come to us. My buddy is back.
The Absorbing Man.
That is a great cover. Look at that.
This is Thor 206. Look at that, man. It's just great artwork. Great battle in this issue.
If it involves the Absorbing Man, it's going to be a great battle.
And if he's not battling, he's always battling his brother Loki.
Always.
I love the evil hound jumping Thor.
Like we've said before.
Demons dwell.
Loki is like evil personified, folks.
This is 208. Look at that.
Very cool.
Awesome. 209. This is Gil Kane art.
Yep.
Look at how...
It's a deadly druid.
Thor is looking like a rag doll. 210 against the mighty Ulrich. The evil troll.
Ulik the troll.
Ulik.
A strong troll, too.
I recently picked this one up, 210. I needed this one for a long time.
And he's back for more.
This is 211. He gets the trolls to unite. Awesome. Pete's got next one, 212.
212. Look at that. Again, more sci-fi stuff, right? All sorts of space aliens and creatures.
I don't have 213.
Neither do I.
But I do have 214. Very cool.
That's a cool villain right there. What was his name again? That's the Nebula. Into the Dark Nebula. That's like the 4D man, right? Is that what his name was? I forget.
This dude?
Yeah, what was his
That's
name?
not the 4D. Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, the 4D man.
4D man.
He fought someone else, too. I can't remember who else. Maybe it was the Avengers, maybe.
215.
That giant stone creature. Was that Zor?
Look at that, man. That's just
very cool.
Awesome. And this looks like Lady Sif is imprisoned.
Yeah.
Some kind of crystal. 216 coming up.
That's a good one. Look at that.
Another great cover.
The 4D man's back again.
There he is.
With some other big...
That's the same monster from this, right?
Yeah, you probably are correct there.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah.
It's just from a different angle. kind of a flat head.
Very rare in these Thor comics to have like single issue storylines. Usually these
carry over.
For
217.
Oh, look at that! God versus God.
Odin pissed at Thor again. Let me guess.
Always. What has Thor done this time?
218 coming up.
All right, Thor fights alone. Another cool
I
cover.
love this cover. Him swinging that hammer.
Yeah.
I have this book as well.
Gotta love that emotion.
You got 219.
219. The Power of the Protector. This is a great cover. Look at that.
Definitely cool.
John Buscema artwork, top notch.
This is 220. Again, awesome artwork.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
This one I recently got. Needed this one for a long time. Hard to find because of the clash with Thor versus Hercules. This is issue 221.
These guys were friends, but man, they fought an awful lot of times.
This is John Buscema and Mike Esposito as the embellisher.
Yep, the embellisher.
Yes. 222. More of a continuation of the story with Hercules and Thor.
Now they're fighting alongside each other rather than beating the crap out of each other, right?
Yeah, they're kind of united. 223.
Nice.
That was Joe Sinnott and John Buscema. This one is that Esposito?
That is
Buscema and
Esposito. Yep.
See, now they're flipping back and forth between Mike Esposito and Joe Sinnott. But this is 223. 224.
Same team.
Buscema and Esposito.
And see here we got the Destroyer and big time nemesis of Thor.
And Hercules is down on the ground.
Yeah.
Thor's trying to jump in and help. 226. No.
Yeah, we don't have that.
220. I still need it. 227. This is Buscema and Sinnott. Joe Sinnott. I love this cover.
Joe Sinnott did tell us himself that the favorite characters that he liked working on was
The Thing
and Thor.
And when we saw Joe Sinnott last weekend, go ahead. What do you got?
We got a Rich Buckler
228
cover. 228.
You have 229.
Ego the Living Planet. I do. And this is
a nice book.
This is a great cover. In fact, if you look on the internet, you can find a T-shirt made by Marvel of this cover right here. Very, very cool.
This is 230, which is part of my original collection from like 20 years ago with the original 9 Thors that I had. This is Buscema. I don't know who else is on that. I'm not sure if that's Joe Sinnott. I got it covered here.
You got Herc down in the back.
Yeah. Again, like the confrontation with the villains is just great action covers. Moving on, more of a monster side. Thor, this is 231, and I've had this one for quite a while. Just definitely a cool cover. And this is what's interesting about this book is it's misprinted. In the back, there's pages 27 should be actually page 26.
Ooh.
Page 30 should actually be page 27. And page 26 is really page 30.
Wow.
So when you read this book, it's all mumbo-jumbo.
Wow.
And I found out about it because in a later issue, somebody writes and complains about it, and they explain it, so I wrote that on the book. That's a great little footnote for that book. So that's technically, cool. This book is actually a misprint.
Yeah.
Like a misprinted stamp. Yeah, the story is out of order. So you have to flip.
Probably not the first time that's happened.
Well, I don't know. It's the first time I ever read about it, so I wrote it down on the backboard. This is issue 232.
Look at that.
Thor versus Fire Lord.
And of course, who's up in the back? It's right in the middle of this.
Loki.
That guy.
Evildoer.
He's always in the middle
scheming.
of this stuff. That's right.
Another one that was part of my original collection, Thor. This is 233.
Look at that.
Again with the pose. Leaning back, ready to slug away with the hammer.
Bright colors on that one.
234, which I recently picked up within the past year or so to expand on. I have over 40 Thors now. Growing from 9 to over 40.
Nothing wrong with that.
No. 235.
Hercules is back.
More of the white background.
Yep.
Could have probably used a different color, but it works. Another great cover here with the Nemesis, the Absorbing Man. 236. And then
237. Ulik is back, as he always seems to be every so often, right? Can't get rid of that crazy troll.
Next is 238.
238.
Which is by John Buscema and Joe Sinnott. And I got Joe Sinnott to sign this book. I got him to sign 5 books.
Got a funny story. Well, not a funny story.
Cool for me, it was what I noticed about it was here's his signature. I wanted to just show it off. What's great about Joe Sinnott is that when I gave him this book, this was the 5th of the books I got him to sign, and he was actually sitting there flipping through it and looking at every page and checking it out, because who knows how long it's been since he looked at the book. But he actually took his time and flipped through this book to take a look. So it was probably bringing back memories for him.
I mean, he's in his early 90s, so he probably hasn't looked at this comic in, what?
Maybe since he drew it.
It's 40-some-odd years, maybe.
Because I noticed he didn't look at all the other books I handed him to sign, but he took his time flipping through this book. So I figured I'd take my time and flip it.
But again, he did tell us that Thor was one of his favorite characters to draw, to.
So he took the time to go through this book, and then he did sign it. So again, thank you, Joe Sinnott. And one more time, the cover. I had 17 different Thors with Joe Sinnott in them that he had worked on, and I had a tough decision to pick one out of 17 books.
So why'd you pick that one?
I picked it because of the monster on the cover.
Of course, it's always about the monsters.
It's always about the monsters. I wanted Joe Sinnott to sign something from every different title that I had. Like I had him sign a Hulk. I had him sign Hulk versus Thing, a Fantastic Four. I had him do a horror book, and I also had him do Thor. But the others were pretty cut and dry. But the Thor was the most difficult one for me to pick from. And moving on.
239, Ulick is still here. Can't get rid of this guy, the evil troll.
Holy glare again.
Yeah, there we go. This one's not in great shape, but, 240 I got. Yeah, 240. Here we got the Wrath of Thor. Again.
This is actually a pretty cool story because this pyramid just shows up out of nowhere with these evil guys in it. And it just shows up in New York City, and Thor is there to repel these guys.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
This is 241.
Skeletons.
When death sails the stars. Because they had that ship, that Star Voyager ship.
That's right. When the Servitor commands.
Look at that.
This is a Gil Kane cover. Not a bad one for him.
This is, again, John Buscema and Joe Sinnott. This is 245. Definitely cool. The Temple at the End of Time. Again, still dealing with that pyramid, I believe.
Let me squeeze in 243 and 244.
Another Joe Sinnott cover.
Yeah.
Right, well,
the dinosaur right there.
This was another one I was thinking. This was a runner-up for me to have Joe Sinnott sign.
Why not, right? And then we got here with the Time Twisters. Oh, this is pretty cool.
241.
Yeah. I just got a lot of these recently, so I haven't even read some of them. And what do we have to your next?
What do you got there?
I got 247. You're up.
This is 246. This is, again,
Firelord.
John Buscema and another Joe Sinnott book, which, again, I was, thinking about having him sign this one. It was a really tough call. 248 I have.
There's 247, the continuation of the Firelord story.
And then this is 248, which I recently picked up last year. This was a tough one to find, but I finally got my hands on it. See the barcode. Ugh.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it must have just started because.
Yeah, here it is here.
I had 248. You didn't have it on 247, did you?
No.
So 248, June of 1976, I'm going to say.
This is July right here.
1976, they started the barcode. It won't be long before babies are born with barcodes.
Jack Kirby cover, right? So Kirby was not working on the Thor series, but occasionally he would pop up and do a
stopping at 250?
We're stopping at 250, and what a 250, right? Because look who's back. Mangog. This character right there.
Holy
all powerful.
Man. Yeah. Ooh, sorry.
With those great big claws.
Look at that, man. We're getting some glare now, huh? It's definitely cool.
So that's
250 anniversary issue.
Yeah, so some good stuff.
So that wraps up Thor Part 3.
Part 3.
I'm Wild Bill from Comic Book Geezer saying thanks for being with us. And as always, subscribe and keep watching and tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
We know
you all got comic friends, so tell them all. We want everybody watching the show. Seek us out on Facebook.
We're trying to reach out to you, and we thank you for watching and all your views.
Yep.
And like always, stay tuned. We'll be back with more stuff. I'm Wild Bill saying thanks for being with us.
And I'm Pete. We'll see you next time.
Take it easy.
Bye-bye.